Miracle Queen might be the most controversial finale in all of Miraculous Ladybug, which is an insane thing for me to say considering the season 5 finale exists. And it's all centered around one girl, Chloé Bourgeois. But this isn't really about her. There has been a lot of back and forth over whose fault Chloe's betrayal is. Is it her own fault and her choices? Is it Marinette's fault for her hypocrisy and idiocy? But because of the conflict between these two characters, we the audience have been distracted from calling out the true reason Chloé betrayed Ladybug. And even those who place some of the blame on him do it on an intellectual level instead of realizing that nothing about his actions in that episode showed even a hint of intelligence. I am of course talking about God's favorite idiot, Moth. I guess Thomas Astruc is God in that analogy. And I do have words for the writers. But until then, let's just talk about why Gabriel Agreste's actions in this finale are so brain dead, it makes the many strategic blunders in the series finale for Avatar The Last Airbender seem acceptable, and you know how I feel about that. Because, honestly, I think Gabriel completely forgot his wife. His only goal in that episode was to make Chloé Bourgeois evil. And honestly, the Chloé drama and whether or not she should have gotten redeemed has distracted us so much from how stupid the episode needed to be for it to happen in the first place. And let's begin with that. After Ladybug accidentally leads him to Master Fu, Hawkmoth's first move is to get Chloé on his side. This is so baffling. I mean, this is Gabriel Agreste we're talking about. Since when does he try again? In the following season, after Chloé revealed the identities of several of the extra heroes to him, he tries to take advantage of the fact he knows their identities a sum total of twice. Once for Alia and once for Nino, and he doesn't try again. According to season 5, he's always known that Kagami is a sentient being whose mother can control her, and that Ladybug is willing to give her the Dragon Miraculous, and he didn't even try to take advantage of that. Can you believe there are people who think the show's plot points have been planned from the beginning? Honestly, that would make the writing far worse than if you just said they were all retcons. So, this guy, for some reason, has decided that he's really determined to make Chloé evil. He's not just trying to take advantage of the fact he knows who one of the heroes is, he specifically just wants her to switch sides. Why? Like, when he did it in Miraculous, it almost made sense. Taking advantage of Chloé and Sabrina to get their hands on the Beam Miraculous when the hero showed up to give it to her was smart. But then you have to ask, why did the next step of the plan involve giving the Miraculous to Chloé? Like, think about it. Mayura had the Beam Miraculous in her hand. Why offer it to Chloé? What advantage could she possibly have given them? Why not just put it on yourself? Then again, unifications were only introduced like 5 episodes later, so maybe the writers hadn't thought of it yet. Seriously, they lose because the heroes take advantage of the fact that they want Chloé to join them, and she almost grabs the Peacock Miraculous off of Natalie. And what? Hawkmoth ends the episode saying he knows Chloé will change her mind? I don't care if he's right. He had no reason to think so, and there was no advantage to trying, unless he has intimate knowledge of the rules of his world and knows that only teenage girls can be successful in this series. Knowing Chloé's identity only works because it means he can get her Miraculous. It doesn't work as some sort of effort to bring her to the dark side, because let's be real, he has never once even tried to take advantage of the fact that Chloé chose to work with him even after she lost the Miraculous, because that's all she brings to the table, but for some reason he seems to think it's a package deal. So, now that Ladybug has made a huge mistake and gotten the Miraculous taken by him, his first move is to go to Chloé for some reason. Honestly, watching this finale, you'd think she was the only one who could use the Beam Miraculous in all of Paris. He says he akumatized their parents to get her on his side, and then he releases them at her request. This whole thing has just been about her. It's honestly kinda creepy, especially with how he keeps calling her my queen. And so, we move on to Miracle Queen itself, where he proceeds to give her the Miracle Box. Side tangent. The Miraculous Ladybug wiki says that Operation Perfect Alliance, aka the season 5 finale, was being planned as far back as Animaestro. Apparently, the writer's commentary says that that's what Tomoe and Gabriel were discussing. Let's pretend I believe that. Why did he give all the Miraculous to Chloé? We now know all the ridiculous powers that the Miraculous have. Why would he give them all to her when she only really needs like 6? Apparently, they've been planning to use them to give powers to civilians as minions since before this episode. Honestly, I fully believe Gabriel only came up with Perfect Alliance after he got Cataclysm and realized it was too dangerous for him to go out and face the heroes himself, because he keeps failing to use that to capture Ladybug. It makes no sense that Perfect Alliance is a plan that he's had for a while, because that means he just assumed he'd fail to use the Miraculous to beat them in other ways, and assumed he'd get every Miraculous except the 2 he really wanted, and would fail to use the Rabbit Miraculous to go back in time and win that way. But let's actually go back to what I said about only teenage girls being able to succeed in this show, because I was right. Chloé has such a successful plan to defeat the heroes, it's actually kind of baffling. She mind controls everyone in the city without alerting them that that's what she's gonna do, and then orders the temporary heroes to come to her. It's such a surefire way to win, and yet I think this is like the only time someone actually does it. And I have to assume that this is Chloé's plan, because I cannot for the life of me think of a single advantage including her would actually give it if she isn't the one who came up with it. We know from Risk that Moth can target people with specific emotions when you want specific powers, and he uses it to make sure everyone takes more risks instead of just straight up surrendering to him. Chrysalis gets a lot of praise for being smarter than Gabe, but she hasn't done this either. The writers may be slightly more careful about it, but this show still isn't allowed to let the villain win, even though it would be so easy. I suspect that after a season or 2 we'll be talking about how stupid she is as well. The creators did not go into the first 5 seasons of this show planning to write the main antagonist as a buffoon. Nothing short of pure luck is what allowed the main characters to escape being stung by the bees and get into the water. Moth, you've recently shown that the concept of trying again is not completely foreign to you. How about you try this again? This time without relying on a spoiled rich brat to do everything for you. Look at this moron, smiling at Chloé like he finally has a child he can be proud of, staring blankly as she hands the Miraculous over to mind-controlled teenagers. The Rabbit Miraculous is right there. He has the miracle book. He should know what it does. And you know the biggest disadvantage this causes? It tells Ladybug where to find him, because he hasn't broken through full shield yet, but decided to put off doing that until Miracle Queen was doing her thing. So Ladybug not only shows up to fight Miracle Queen and steal the Miraculous back, but she's free to interfere with the attempt to capture Fu. And interfere she does, because he names her the Guardian and loses his memory. Which, sure, he might have been able to do that even if she wasn't present. But if she wasn't present, she'd have no idea it happened and he'd still have the miracle box, even if it turned into that. They brought the shield all the way to the Arc de Triomphe. Why not take it somewhere private and beat it until it breaks? Then you can do all this idiotic stuff later. And when Dragon Bug and Chat Noir show up, they're able to isolate the mind-controlled heroes and defeat them, and then deacomatize Miracle Queen. And he and Mayura just stand there and watch. They literally just watch. It's a Sentimonster doing the shield breaking for them. They're practically in the audience with us. Remember that he can beat Ladybug and Chat 1v2. Remember that Pegasus can summon portals to anywhere. Does he want to lose? And so they defeat everyone and manage to deacomatize Miracle Queen. So, does he jump in to join the fight? No, he might win if he does. He just sends another Akuma for Queen Bee. One that doesn't even go directly to her. Look at her jump to try and get at it. It's ridiculous. And of course, Ladybug immediately purifies it, because of course she did. And then, as Chloé starts putting on all the Miraculous because she wants to use them all at once to try and fight back, he just stands there, looking proud, like an idiot. He sure is like his son, just head empty, no thoughts. Remember when his motivation was to bring his wife back to life? Clearly he doesn't, because all he wants in this episode is for Chloé to be evil. He just celebrates that she's on his side and he can just sit back and... What? Does he think she's going to use all the Miraculous for the first time and beat up Ladybug and Chat Noir? I remind you, he's still just standing there. I can't believe it. I hate this show. Can't wait for the next episode. Okay, I'll admit, I took that line directly from Utterly Chloé. But I didn't realize this episode would frustrate me so much when I started writing the script. And then, Because apparently there is a chance that Chloe might actually start doing all that, or more likely, no one is interested in creating model of Chloe with a bunch of transformations that they're only ever going to use once. She just doesn't. The show breaks its own rules, and the Kwami refuse to tell Chloe how to use their powers, even though she orders them to while wearing their Miraculous. Why is Moth even here? As soon as Fu makes Ladybug the new guardian of the Miraculous, he just fucking leaves. Chloe is standing there, wearing like 8 Miraculous, fully willing to support him, and he just leaves. This has been his goal the whole time. And so she starts taking them off and throwing them away because she's also just standing there. She even walks right up to Ladybug and practically lets her take the B Miraculous off of her head. I made an April Fool's video about how Chloe's whole betrayal was actually a ruse and she was secretly still working for the heroes, and rewatching this scene made me wonder if I was right, because she puts up absolutely no fight even though she keeps yelling that she will. It might actually fix the problem of her never actually using the other Kwami's powers to fight, and making it so easy for the heroes to get the Miraculous off of her. Like, as soon as she's deakumatized, she practically becomes a non-entity. You'd think she doesn't have superpowers. Just look at how much I can criticize this episode without bringing up Chloe's redemption. Someone actually said the only reason people don't like it is because their favorite racist white girl wasn't redeemed. As if Chloe is anywhere near my favorite racist white girl, and also as if the plot isn't facilitated by pure idiocy on the part of the villains as they just stand there and confidently watch the heroes win. This might actually be worse than the season 5 finale. Okay, let's not get crazy. But you know what? I still have to bring up Chloe's failed redemption, because that's the real reason all of this happened. The writers wanted Chloe's redemption to fail, and they used Hawkmoth to facilitate it because it would be kinda boring if it just failed on its own. Ladybug would have just stopped giving her the Miraculous and that would be it. Maybe she'd get akumatized and be the villain of the day. They made him so idiotically determined to team up with her and then stand back and do nothing as she lost everything he gave her so effectively, I almost wonder if she did it on purpose. I kinda want to read a fanfiction where she does it on purpose. But the writers also don't actually want Chloe to be a serious villain actively working with Hawkmoth, so she just fails immediately and he just leaves immediately even though he shouldn't. But they also don't get rid of her character, so she sticks around far longer than she should instead of going to New York like she promised. More terrible plotlines for her to be involved in. Realistically, this episode doesn't happen because Hawkmoth just goes home with the miracle box. But here, it's practically insignificant next to the idea of this child doing everything for him. But you see, we can't actually let him get away with it because A, we the audience don't know what all the Miraculous do yet, and B, it would be 100% Ladybug's fault, and we can't have that. And thus, this episode is the result. A comedy of errors upon which the most interesting temporary hero at that point in the show is sacrificed. Alia only became more interesting than her in season 4, Alex in season 5, Felix isn't a hero until the very end of season 5 and by that point he's impressively poorly written. No one else comes close. Yes, Kagami is great, but that's almost entirely divorced from her role as Ryuko. It's just insane. I should rant more. Shout out to my patrons, A, Skyman, Technopark, and Jark Evolved. What are your thoughts on this episode? Is this the dumbest Gabriel has ever been? Should I rant more? Cause I have ideas I still haven't covered ephemeral yet. Tell me in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you, and good day.